Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant, and in the last video that I did yesterday, I showcased my project that I am creating. So I showed the current state that it's in. I said that there's still a lot of things that I want to do, but I got to the point where it was a minimal viable product. So what that means is, okay, I am able to allow the client to be able to send data to an API gateway that I created. This API gateway communicates to other microservices, the consumer microservice, the producer microservice, and both of those are able to talk to a MongoDB database. The entire thing is wrapped up in a Eureka server, so they all register with the Eureka server, and that's how they're able to do their communications. So I showcased that project, and then I also showed it to Susie, and so she had a lot of comments about it. And so I'm going to call that kind of like a design review essentially, because that's what it was, right? So I'll go through some of the comments and suggestions that she made to me. And so yeah, this is kind of like a design review from an Amazon software engineer. So this is what she was saying to me. So she said, for the standard of an electrical engineer. So for an electrical engineer, it's actually really good. It showcases a lot of knowledge, right? That most electrical engineers have no idea about. And so for that standard, it's pretty good. But for the standard of a software engineer, it's not that great. Um, she said, not even for the companies that I'm targeting, right? Those top tier companies, it's not even what the mid would really accept. So she said there's a lot of things that she would suggest that I change about it. So let's go through some of those suggestions. First off, she said she didn't like that I did my documentation. So my documentation, she said, was kind of sloppy. She didn't like that I hand wrote things. I had a diagram showing all of the connections between how data is flowing. She said, "No, no, no. That's not right. You need to actually go and create it in a tool, a computer generated flow chart, and make it more professional." Second thing is about the front end. So she said, yes, you are applying for and trying to get into back-end software engineering. Right. I understand you're not trying to focus on front end, but the front end is what the user is going to interact with. The front end is what people are going to see. Now, they're going to see this uh, basic HTML that looks like it is from the 1980s, and they're going to assume that it is they're going to have a prejudice against you and a prejudice against the project. They're going to say, well, if the front end is so sloppy and is not well put together, the back end is probably not good either. So she said, spend some time, make a better front end, make it look nice, make it look polished, make it look professional. It's going to give a much better impression, and they're automatically going to think of you and the rest of the project as better. Okay, so fo- put a little bit more focus on that, even though I'm not trying to get into front end development. I'm trying to get into back end development. Okay, so the other thing was try to find some application for a real world situation, right? So the project right now, it's just you can add items to the inventory, you can take away items to the inventory. So I need to go through and think about, okay, is there any application that I can actually try to shoehorn this into and see if I can come up with a justification and be able to talk about it a little bit more. That way it's not just project, but it's there's a reason for it, etc. The other thing that she was mentioning was that because my project is has a very simple front end, she gave me suggestions on, okay, maybe you can give the user more options of what they're able to do. So, for example, maybe give real-time live data updates on some of the supplies which are in the project, and so that definitely opens up a lot more complexity to the project, right? So then give the user ability to go back, like if they enter in items and then say, "Oh wait, I made a mistake," and take those items back out. And the other thing was she didn't like the naming convention which I used for my microservices. She said that they should be more intuitive and make more sense. So these are some of the suggestions which she was giving to me, and I'm gonna think through them. The first one is pretty easy to do. The one where I need to go in and actually change the formatting of the front end service. So that's pretty easy. Just takes a little bit of time. Then the other ones of trying to actually be able to find a valid use case for this project. I've been thinking through it. I just I can't think of anything, honestly. I really can't think of anything. The point of this project was to practice and be able to demonstrate the skills. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna have to think through that a little bit more and try to put some effort into actually thinking about, okay, well, how am I going to integrate a lot of those suggestions which she gave to me? So yeah, that was kind of the design review from an Amazonian software engineer, and I will try to figure out, okay, how do I move forward? How do I integrate those suggestions which she gave to me? And how do I get this project better? I still have a lot of ideas about what I want to do, where I want to go, how I want to move forward with this project. I want to put it in Docker. I want to be able to do my unit testing. I want CI/CD integration testing, etc. Right? Like I have a lot of things that I'm hoping to be able to move forward with this project. And I don't know if I continue specifically once I get to those. I'm kind of two minds. I don't know. I could either continue with those, or I could then move on to a project that is useful. I'm gonna have to think this through a little bit. I'm not sure. I haven't decided quite yet. Um, but I just wanted to kind of go over some of the suggestions which she gave to me and try to think through, okay, well, where do we go from here? So, anyways, pretty good suggestions, I think, and it's definitely helpful to have someone who is able to talk with you, talk through things with you, give you suggestions, tell you how you can move forward, and give you kind of like an honest assessment of what's going on and the state at which you are. Because obviously, if I think I'm way up here, but I'm actually way back here, it's good to have someone be like, no, but also give you a roadmap of how you can move forward. So, anyways, that's kind of the state of things. If you are curious and want to join me along in this project, subscribe and I will take you guys along with the journey. Right as soon as I'm done with this video, I am going to be going and just going straight into continuing to develop my project, move forward, and so yeah, that'll be coming right up. So, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and goodbye.